What's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren. I am your resident intuitive baddie. And I haven't named this series yet, but basically I am pulling cards from the Starseed Oracle deck, and about 4 to 5 cards, and I am reading the definition out, I'm reading what it means out from the book as means to improve my communication speaking skills and also to learn what they mean, because I'd like to say I'm probably like an intermediate reader. I can read intuitively, but it takes like analyzation. And yeah, for this deck specific in particular, I don't know the cards that, like, I wouldn't be able to know the cards without reading it, because I don't read often. Ooh. Anyways, yeah, I needed a break from what I was doing. How many is this? 2? Okay, 1 or 2 more. Oh, no. Okay, this is 4. I did 6 yesterday, so what was I saying? Right, I need a break from what I was doing. I'm if you don't know already, I'm also a wedding planner, but I'm more on this late. Well, it depends on which one I post first, but I'm gonna make a video about pretty much how much I know about love and the stuff that I do that's really reflective. I really want to have that in my practice as a wedding planner. So yeah, be on the lookout for content like that. Anyways, let's get into this. So the first one, the Courageous Peony. Multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. Oh wow, I opened right on it. Love that. Flowers don't open and close according to who walks by. They embrace all of what they are and show it to the world around them. The peony doesn't try to compete with the cherry blossom, and the cherry blossom doesn't try to compete with the tulip. They own what they are and trust the timing of their true nature. You are being called to do the same. It's time to open yourself up to being seen. Time to share your incredible, multifaceted true nature with the world around you. To uncover and reveal your soul's greatest gifts without wavering. To own uniqueness without apology. There's a flower on this planet that holds the same qualities that your soul is readying itself to express. Let it inform you. You may have been taught that it's safer to keep your light hidden. Oh, why am I so tongue-tied? And your voice small. To hide behind the bushes instead of growing tall. The Courageous Peony is here to remind you that it's safe to embody all of who you truly are. It's safe to share your voice and let yourself be seen. At first, it may feel uncomfortable and you may be afraid of what others think. But with each passing day, it does become easier. Little by little, you realize that it draws in those who are meant for you, and experiences you've been longing for arrive at your feet. I can graciously confirm. I can confirm this. I mean, obviously, if you're watching me and, well, maybe this is the first video you're seeing of me and you don't know my journey, but pretty much started posting YouTube videos for the same reason I'm doing this series, which was to improve my communication skills and to get over my fear of being seen. And I can confirm it gets easier. Yeah, in the beginning it was so uncomfortable. I remember my first few videos, there was a lot of pausing to think because obviously I was thinking a lot back then. I think the more that I do these as well, it encourages me to allow thoughts to flow through me rather than to think them, if that makes sense. And yeah, kind of like I was saying in the beginning of the video, or what I'm going to make a video about, if it's not already up yet, is how there have been a lot of times, if you pay attention when I put up my messages or put up an experience I had, sometimes you can feel it, you can tell that I'm tiptoeing around something. And I think a lot of it has been any topics that have to do with love or dating, like partnership connections. It's like you can feel me get uncomfortable or start to govern what I say, sort of. And I think it was like a fear of perception if somebody that I actually know in real life or in the 3D were to be watching my stuff, you know. Yeah. So I'm getting over that. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And yeah, my journey has been a lot of unpacking or releasing everything that's not mine, thoughts, emotions, patterns that are not mine, and really deciding what do I want and what is mine. So next, surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. This is a really pretty card, very visually appeasing. The whole deck is, but that card in particular. Maybe I shouldn't have put the chocolate in my mouth. All right, surrender to the sweetness. This is a sensual, highly feminine card. It is a call to surrender to the sweetness of life, to let the ever-abundant feminine take over, to taste the fruits you've been working so hard to grow, to let your senses take over and really drink in your life with wonder, to get intoxicated on the simple bounty that this planet has to offer, and which you have within you when your well is full. The ancient Babylonians connected the feminine goddess Ishtar to the planet Venus, and in Roman mythology, Venus was the goddess of love and beauty. In our night sky, aside from the moon, Venus shines the brightest. Time is our most precious resource, and it's the greatest healer. If you've been all work, no play, this is a sign to take some time out, to reconnect with your lover, play with your children, and give yourself the luxury of time without an agenda. Many of us are so busy building our lives that we forget to enjoy them. We forget why we decided to build them in the first place. Disconnection from the sweetness causes more pain than we realize. So many of us walk into soulless buildings 5 days a week in the name of survival. We strive to build the life of our dreams, but drive ourselves into exhaustion. This card is wooing you back to the pleasures of being human, to focusing on what really matters and enjoying your incredible life. So for myself, did I change the page? Yeah, I did. I grew up with a lot of masculine energy because my dad was the one who raised me since he was retired, and my mom was absent more, and that has caused me to be very action led. It's kind of like, I think for myself, I feel like I had my feminine and masculine energies separated and both off balance. And it's been easier for me to operate in my masculine at most times. The past year, I had been focusing more on my feminine, and now I'm at a point where I'm looking for balance. And it's because with understanding my purpose and everything that I'm set out to do, I've had to also make sure that as I'm organizing my life and making sure that I'm executing the things that I actually are dreaming of, that I'm allowing myself to soften and be one with stillness and enjoying life, to put it plainly, because what's the point of life if you're just gonna work all day and be stressed? So it's been heavy in my calling. That's why I ended up leaving my day job in September of last year, and I've just been working at building this bit, or not even just building, more so working at everything that has been blocking me from actually building. And because I feel like I've been in such of a planning deconstruction phase of my life, just really working away everything that's not me and finding who I am. So, losing train of thought. Is it because I started playing with the cards? Oh, yeah. In order to really understand my values, so that I understand what it is that I'm bringing to my businesses, really carving out my calling as well, because it's like it's been calling me, but it's like there's all these pieces, and now they're actually coming together. It's like the puzzle. I had the puzzle pieces, new puzzle. I just thought that maybe the puzzles were mixed together. I was able to separate them, and now I'm putting the puzzle pieces together. Ooh, that's a good analogy, actually. I might run with that in a short. So yeah, that's what that card speaks to me. I wonder if I should be doing this differently so that you guys can feel if you're, I don't know. Basically, when I talk about myself, and if you're here, I would assume that it applies to you. Yeah, I'm not going to think too hard of that. Weight of the world. Boundaries, let go. It's not yours to carry. What have I been talking about? What have I been talking about? I already know. I already know what this is, basically. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's. To stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, to put on your own oxygen mask first. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from the place of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others. And that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. And at the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning if you so choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. Yeah. Yeah, that's something I've been working on too. It's kind of the same thing where it's like I'm kind of looking back and seeing what hasn't worked for me in the past and what does. I think as humans, a lot, like most of us need some sort of structure or routine in our lives. And I say this as a mother because I think a lot of people don't realize that, like, before you become a parent, I think there's a lot of people who think, oh yeah, I'll just look at the baby, like the baby will adapt to my schedule and they're gonna sleep when I sleep. You know, it's like, but babies have a rhythm. They have a rhythm to them, and I think this is why I always knew I'd be a great mother and why I have so much fun, because it's like, basically, yeah, babies have their own rhythm, and then the rhythm is just constantly changing. But it's like, basically, it's, as a parent, it's your job to kind of notice, be aware of the pattern and try to flow with their pattern rather than to try to force them into yours. So for example, especially early on, it's like they're gonna sleep when they sleep. They're gonna sleep a billion times. They're gonna sleep and wake up a billion times throughout the day. And it's like, you start to notice as time goes on how it's like the same times and stuff, and they get hungry at the same time. So it's just like, you just have to follow that pattern. But then what gets hard, I think, is when people have work and they have outside things in their lives, and then they have to adjust slightly because of that. But when you have more freedom and you don't like try to force things like that, it just works better. It's less of a fight. Yeah, I want to say, like, sleep is the best example of that, because it's like, if you let them sleep and wake up when they need to, instead of trying to like wake them up for a certain time, or like you keep them up longer because you have to do something, or I don't know. But it's just, it throws off the schedule, and then it makes everything a fight, and it makes everything harder. And that's just life. So it's like, when we have loose structures, at least I'm trying. So basically, for myself, I can't have a rigid schedule, because, like I said, there's rhythms. There's rhythm to life. Everybody has their own rhythm, their own patterning. So I think a really good example is, I get really creative at night, which is also a problem, especially because I have a child. Because sometimes, yeah, there's some nights where I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta get up in like 3 hours, but I'm still awake because I have so many ideas. But like, life's. So I think it's important or I was thinking about this yesterday, just like how I might be able to better tailor some sort of routine or schedule into my life so that I can flow better. So yeah, for today, I knew what my task was. I knew what that I was going to work on, but I was getting to a point where I was just like, I'm getting tired of this. Or not tired of it, but I was just like, oh man, like, this is a lot to think about. And I just needed a break, so I stopped and I did a reading, rather than to be like, oh, I'm gonna line out every single thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this at this time. I'm gonna do a reading at this time. I'm gonna do scheduling at this time. And also what it was saying about starting the day with the practice. I have a friend that I was talking to, and we agreed to check in with each other each week to make sure that we're always journaling in the morning. Ideally, we wanted it to be like the first thing you do when you wake up, but sometimes it just doesn't, sometimes it just doesn't happen, or you need a little bit longer to actually be able to be conscious enough to let your thoughts flow. So I think meditation should be first. Oh yeah, and just move for myself, moving, doing some breath work, like intention settings. I do think that's best to do in the beginning of the day, just because it sets the tone for the rest of the day. So yeah, I guess just kind of like a loose structure like that. So like mindfulness, meditation, spirit work, and then task work, chillage, maybe a nap. Maybe I'll try to. I'm bad at napping. I'm bad at napping because I'll just nap for hours, or I get too restless for a nap, but I know I'm tired. And then like throw meals in there. It's just that's what I'm trying to look at. That's something that I actually want to do. I was supposed to start with that, but I had an idea that I had to flesh out. And that's what I mean is like, if I have an idea that's flowing, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, but this in the schedule, it says I'm supposed to record now. Like, I think I work best when I'm going with the natural flow of where my mind wants to go. All right, I think that's enough on that. Last card, the Void. Stop. Embrace winter. It is winter. Great cosmic womb. I love the Void, to be honest. I think the Void is where everything starts. It's where everything is birthed. Oh, there it is. No, where were you? Hope you had fun watching me struggle for a second. Everything and nothing exists in the Void. It's where all life begins and ends. Begins and ends. I said begins. It's the winter and the womb. The fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting, it can feel both overwhelmingly small and huge. The Void is where faith lives. The message of the Void is to surrender to the unknown, to allow the fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seeds growing within you, regardless of whether you know what they'll one day become. Oh. You're being called to surrender to the mysteries of what's next, to rest and to allow the winter of your life to do the work for you. To hand over your control and trust that just because you can't see what's happening beneath the surface, it doesn't mean things aren't at work. The greatest weavings happen when we find a way to surrender and to trust that our life is being knitted for us, right beneath the surface, in ways known and unknowable. Now is the time to cultivate faith and allow deep rest. The Void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase, when we're called to let go of all we know and identify with. When you're in the Void, it can feel scary and as if you should be doing something. However, when this card appears, it's a sure sign that the most productive thing to do is relinquish control and surrender to the changing mystery of your life. All right, so yeah, I'm in a phase right now, where I feel like, yes, I'm in the Void, and yeah, it's like there are certain things have been ending, things have been closing. That's been all of 2025, but now it's like I feel like I'm really at the end chapter. Like I've really said goodbye to who I once was, because I've given myself the space to choose who I want to be and to commit to that. So yeah, this really resonates. And the other thing with the void, so when I think about the void, that's what I think of, where I think meditation takes you. Not just meditation, but certain psychedelics can do this as well. Just being, or the flow state sometimes. But it's when it's just kind of like everything goes quiet and you're just in tune with the universe, with infinite, I don't know. Because yeah, I had one insight during this really deep meditation the first time I went to the Buddhist temple, and it was basically like the reason why we close our eyes is because we need to be shut off to the world, and we need to go into this space. We need to go into this void space, because in this void space is where everything is infinite. So when you are able to kind of take yourself out of being here in the 3D world and you go inwards, everything expands. And yeah, I'm doing my best to do this more often now, because I think I fell off for a long time, and I got really caught up in just doing things, you know, and it kind of ties into the surrender to the sweetness card, actually, and the weight of the world as well, because it's about grounding into that femininity and really sitting in your intuition and just allowing, because things will flow better that way. So yeah, I mean, for me, this all alludes to how I want to structure my life, or loosely structure my life, and make sure that I am living my life in such a way that everything is enjoyable and is effortless to be frank. I don't know. But yeah, that was those cards. So I hope you like this series, and I hope it resonates with you. Until next time, goodbye.